What you are about to see is a continent where nature completely lost its mind. A place where the cute ones will kill you, the ugly ones are geniuses, and the tiny ones carry enough venom to wipe out a small town. And the last animal in this video, nobody talks about it, but it might be the strangest living thing on the entire planet. Stay with me. You will not regret it. Welcome to the wildest place on Earth. Welcome to Australia. Our first stop is the red kangaroo. And before you say, "Yeah, I know kangaroos," hear me out. This animal weighs close to 200 pounds and can jump the length of a school bus in a single leap. But that is not the wild part. In extreme heat, the red kangaroo licks the inside of its own arms, not because it is tasty, because large blood vessels run right there under the skin. The saliva evaporates and cools the blood directly. A built-in air conditioning system made of spit. Now meet the animal that made scientists think they were being pranked. The platypus. When the first specimen arrived in England in 1799, actual scientists thought someone had sewn a duckbill onto a beaver. They sent it back with a note saying the joke was not funny. But here is what makes it truly unreal. The platypus hunts with its eyes and ears completely shut. It finds prey by sensing the electrical fields produced by living mussels in the water. It feels electricity, like a living radar. Oh, and it lays eggs, even though it is a mammal. Australia simply does not follow the rules. The koala looks peaceful, looks adorable, looks like it has everything figured out. It sleeps 20 hours a day and spends the other 4 hours eating leaves that are toxic to almost every other animal on Earth. Its entire life is basically detox and napping. But here is the part nobody mentions. Koalas have fingerprints, virtually identical to human fingerprints. So similar that they have actually confused crime scene investigators. A sleepy, leaf-eating bear with crime scene potential. Only in Australia. The Tasmanian devil is the size of a small dog, but its bite is stronger pound for pound than almost any other mammal alive. It eats everything. Bones, fur, hooves, all of it. Nothing is left behind. At night, its screams travel through the Tasmanian forest and sound genuinely terrifying. The early European settlers heard those sounds in the darkness and decided the name devil was completely appropriate. But here is the twist. The Tasmanian devil mother is one of the most attentive and gentle parents among marsupials. Terrifying on the outside, devoted on the inside. A complicated creature. Now we need to talk about the Sydney funnel web spider. Most spiders run away when threatened. This one stands on its back legs and charges at you. It lives in suburban garden beds right outside people's homes in Sydney. It is one of the most venomous spiders on the planet. And it is aggressive in a way that feels almost personal. Before antivenom existed, its bite could kill a person in hours. The wild part is this. Its venom is lethal to humans and primates, but completely harmless to cats and dogs. Evolution picked its targets very specifically. The thorny devil is a small lizard covered in sharp spines that looks like a creature from a fantasy novel. But forget the spines. Its real superpower is invisible. The thorny devil drinks through its skin. Tiny microscopic channels run between its scales like drinking straws. Morning dew collects across its entire body and travels through those channels directly into its mouth. It goes to sleep dry and wakes up hydrated, without drinking a single drop the normal way. Here is a rule you need to memorize before visiting Australia. If something is small, colorful, and appears to be glowing, do not touch it. The blue-ringed octopus is the size of a tennis ball. When calm, it looks almost invisible. When threatened, electric blue rings pulse across its body like a neon warning sign. One octopus carries enough venom to kill 26 adults. There is no antivenom. Those glowing rings are not beautiful. They are a goodbye. The echidna breaks every rule biology ever wrote. It is a mammal that lays eggs. It has no teeth but tears open termite mounds. It has no nipples but produces milk directly through its skin. And here is what science recently confirmed. The echidna has one of the most complex brains relative to body size of any mammal on Earth. Its frontal lobes, the part responsible for problem solving and memory, are enormous for an animal its size. It looks like a grumpy hedgehog who gave up on life. It is actually one of the most neurologically sophisticated creatures in the animal kingdom. If the animal kingdom ever held a talent competition, the lyrebird would win every single year. This bird can perfectly mimic the calls of over 40 other bird species back to back without stopping. But that is just the beginning. It also mimics chainsaws, car alarms, camera shutters. A flute melody it heard from a tourist was recorded by the bird, taught to its chicks, and was still echoing through the forest 20 years later. It does not just imitate sounds, it preserves them. A living archive of everything the forest has ever heard. The frilled neck lizard is 100% pure theater. When threatened, it pops open an enormous orange and yellow frill around its neck, opens its mouth wide, and hisses. It looks terrifying. It is completely harmless. The entire performance is a bluff, and it works almost every single time. If the bluff fails, it runs away on two legs. A tiny dinosaur sprinting through the bush with its dignity fully intact. The quokka has been called the happiest animal in the world. That is not an exaggeration. The structure of its face muscles means it always appears to be smiling. Always. Even when it is stressed. Even when it is running. Just permanently delighted. Tourists fly to Rottnest Island specifically to take selfies with it. But nature always has a footnote. When a quokka mother is chased by a predator, she ejects her joey from the pouch to reduce weight and run faster. Still smiling, though. That part does not change. The box jellyfish drifts through the warm waters off Queensland, nearly invisible, its tentacles trailing 3 meters behind it. Contact causes pain so intense that people have lost consciousness in the water and drowned. But the truly strange part is this. The box jellyfish has 24 eyes. Real eyes, with lenses and retinas just like yours and mine. It can see. It processes visual information. It has no brain whatsoever. It sees the world. It just has no idea what it is looking at. The wombat is the quiet engineer of the Australian bush. Its burrows run 30 meters long and become emergency shelters for dozens of other animals during droughts and wildfires. It builds an ecosystem with its own paws without ever meaning to. And then there is the fact that makes everyone stop and stare. The wombat is the only mammal on Earth that produces cubic feces. It uses them as territory markers on rocks and logs. The cube shape means they do not roll off. Evolution solved that problem too. The great white shark that patrols the waters around Neptune Islands in South Australia is not a monster. It is an engineer of the ocean. Without apex predators like the great white, fish populations collapse, reef systems collapse, entire food chains unravel. The shark is the thing that holds it all together. Most attacks on humans are cases of mistaken identity. A surfer in a wetsuit from below looks almost exactly like a seal. It is not hunting you. It just made a mistake. A 5-meter, 3,000-pound mistake. But a mistake nonetheless. The peacock spider is smaller than your fingernail, but when it is time to impress a female, it raises a flap on its abdomen that looks like a tiny stained glass window. Blues, reds, oranges, swirling patterns that take your breath away even at that size. Then it dances, all 8 legs moving in rhythm. Full commitment, maximum effort. If the female is not impressed, she will eat him. No pressure at all. In the warm shallows of Shark Bay, a creature that inspired centuries of mermaid legends grazes slowly on seagrass. The dugong, 1,000 kilograms of slow, gentle, ancient life. Its wide, fleshy lip sweeps across the seafloor. Its tail moves like a fish. And when early sailors saw it surfacing after months at sea, they saw something that looked almost human. Dugongs live as long as humans do, up to 70 years, and they mourn the loss of a partner in ways that researchers describe as grief. A mermaid that is real and deeply sad. And entirely worth protecting. The kookaburra laugh you have heard in every single jungle movie ever made does not actually come from a jungle. It comes from the Australian bush, and it has been used as the default jungle sound in Hollywood for decades. Tarzan movies, Indiana Jones. Every fake jungle you have ever seen on screen is laughing with an Australian accent. The kookaburra itself is completely unbothered by this level of misrepresentation. It is too busy laughing. The wedge-tailed eagle has a wingspan of over 8 feet. Pairs mate for life and return to the same nest year after year, adding to it every season. Some nests weigh several tons. Some have been used by the same family line for over 100 years. One nest, one partner, one sky, for 100 years. There is something in that which quietly rewrites what we think loyalty means. Here is something that sounds made up, but is completely true. During mating season, every single male antechinus, a small marsupial mouse, mates continuously for weeks without stopping. No eating, no sleeping, just relentless effort. The stress hormones destroy their bodies from the inside. Immune system, muscles, organs, everything shuts down. Every male in the entire population dies, simultaneously, without exception. This is not a disease or a disaster. It is the plan. Their deaths free up resources so the females can raise stronger, healthier young. The species survives. The individuals do not. Nature is efficient in ways that are genuinely difficult to process. The leafy sea dragon drifts along the southern Australian coastline, looking exactly like a piece of floating seaweed. It does not hide in the seaweed. It does not camouflage itself among the seaweed. It is the seaweed, as far as any other creature nearby is concerned. It moves via a tiny transparent fin that is nearly invisible, creating the illusion that it is simply being carried by the current. No one runs from seaweed. That is the entire strategy. The dingo arrived in Australia roughly 4,000 years ago with human travelers and then went completely wild. Today, it is not a pet. It is not exactly a wolf. It sits in its own category. And it turns out the dingo is one of the most important animals on the continent. It controls kangaroo populations. It suppresses invasive foxes and cats. Without it, the entire ecological balance tilts. A domestic dog that rewilded itself and became irreplaceable. You cannot plan that. The southern cassowary stands 5 feet tall with a vivid blue neck, red wattles, and a helmet of keratin on its head. When cornered, it kicks forward with claws 12 centimeters long. One strike can cause catastrophic damage. It is considered the most dangerous bird in the world. But here is what most people never hear. The cassowary is the primary seed disperser for over 100 rainforest tree species. Without it, entire sections of the Daintree rainforest would not exist. The most dangerous bird in the world is also the gardener keeping the forest alive. The wombat is one of the rarest mammals in Australia. Striped, rust-colored, with a long pink tongue, it eats up to 20,000 termites a day, every single day. In the 90s, foxes nearly wiped them out entirely. Only a few hundred were left. Today, conservation teams are bringing them back one protected reserve at a time. Every single individual matters, and the people choosing to save them know that. Now, the animal I promised you at the very beginning of this video, the one nobody talks about. We already covered the echidna, the egg-laying mammal with the extraordinary brain. But scientists recently discovered something that changes everything. When echidnas enter deep sleep, their brain activity shifts into patterns that look remarkably similar to REM sleep, the stage of sleep where mammals dream. The echidna may dream. Nobody knows what it dreams about. Termites, maybe, dark tunnels, or something we have absolutely no framework to imagine. A creature that lays eggs, senses electricity through its snout, feeds its young through its skin, and at night, curled in a burrow somewhere beneath the Australian earth, might be dreaming. If that does not make you see this planet differently, I do not know what will. As the sun drops behind the horizon, the red earth goes dark, and the sky above the outback burns every shade of orange and gold. Somewhere out there, a kangaroo is landing its next jump. A lyrebird is adding a new sound to its archive. A peacock spider is dancing for his life. And a platypus is drifting through a cold, dark stream with its eyes closed, feeling the electricity of everything alive around it. Australia is not just a place. It is proof that life, given enough time and enough isolation, will invent things that no one could have ever predicted. We just got lucky enough to exist at the same time as all of it. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. It means more than you know. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me which animal in this video surprised you the most. I read every single comment, and I would love to know. And if you want more videos like this, subscribing is completely free, and it is the best way to make sure you never miss what comes next. See you in the next one.